Beginning life as a personal side project in 2014, Somerville has been a long time coming. Its creator, Chris Olsen, teamed up with one of Playdead's co-founders to form Jump Ship Studio, and the symmetry between Somerville and Inside is undeniable. The two games share much in terms of gameplay language and audiovisual direction, but Somerville takes that sense of wandering through threat and mystery and brings it all much closer to home. At the center of it all is a family living in the countryside. A mundane evening dozing in front of the TV soon turns into catastrophe as massive chunks of metal start to fall from the sky and spaceships battle overhead. After they attempt to take shelter, the father wakes up without a clear sense of how much time has passed or where his family has gone. Setting out through the wreckage and otherworldly dangers, all that he has left is a search for answers. There's no dialogue or text in Somerville, so its story is up for interpretation. What you get out of it comes down to what you witness as you pick your way across wide-open spaces littered with debris and haunting alien pillars floating over the hills. Humanity has been stopped dead in its tracks, leaving you to explore spaces like an abandoned music festival with tents and instruments left behind. You'll encounter survivors trying to flee, helpful orb-like creatures, and mysterious figures lurking in the background. Gameplay is largely about making a path forward, solving puzzles to open passageways, moving obstacles, and climbing over things. You push and pull objects out of the way, topple towers to make bridges, and use momentum to your advantage, such as rolling minecarts downhill to smash through gates. Unfortunately, the game's physics-based interactions can be a little finicky. Sometimes an object you're supposed to pull takes more wiggling of the analog stick than expected, or your character simply doesn't climb over a step the first time you try. There are also a few bugs with collision detection and companions getting stuck that can require restarting checkpoints to fix. While many of its basic interactions are familiar, where Somerville differs is in regards to a strange alien material that often blocks your path. At the start of the game, you gain the ability to charge light sources with a blue glow that causes this material to melt. Sometimes you get handheld lights that allow you to walk freely and melt anything standing in your way, but many times you need to locate generators powering specific light sources, or you have to wrangle power cords that limit a light's reach. Later on, you also get a red charge that can turn this material's liquid form back into a solid, creating platforms you can walk on, and the back and forth between these two forms leads to the game's most interesting puzzles. Light's your biggest tool, but it's also your biggest threat, as enemies use it to attack. Stealth mechanics come into play as large beams of light sweep over an area, or small wolf-like creatures stalk and chase you. You have to time your movements carefully, look for hiding spots, and use objects like an old boat to create shade and cross open areas without being spotted. While having these encounters does add tension, getting through these situations isn't too tough to figure out. Somerville creates a sense of unease through its muted color palette with rough-shapen models that form an impressionistic view of the world. Gray skies and smoky atmosphere obscure details in the distance and lend to the oppressive uncertainty of what's ahead. Also, in a subtle but noticeable move, much of the game has you traveling from right to left. It's a small detail, but adds to the overall feeling of discomfort since it goes against the grain so many games have established over the years. Much of the time you explore without any background music, which often helps to heighten the role of sound design. However, there are moments, such as chase scenes, when the absence of music simply makes it feel like something's missing. From beginning to end, Somerville lasts just a bit under 4 hours, which makes it a good choice to cozy up with on a Friday night with a good pair of headphones. A chapter select screen helps you pop back to specific scenes, which turns out to be useful. While we of course don't want to say too much, the ending seems to be intentionally unsatisfying, prodding players to replay sections in search of clues. However, these still might not be enough to provide proper closure. Somerville has some rough edges to iron out, and in both puzzle mechanics and atmosphere, it doesn't stand quite as tall as some of its contemporaries. Also, while the family dynamic is a key part of the narrative, it feels like there's more gameplay potential there that could have been explored. That said, Somerville still offers a worthwhile and moody sci-fi journey, with a few fun tricks up its sleeve and secrets to unravel. Final score, 7.5 out of 10. Thanks for watching our review. We're Easy Allies. We've been writing about games for decades, and we also do podcasts, streams, shows, and more, all funded by generous viewers just like you. Head to patreon.com/easyallies to pitch in and get rewards. And be sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell to stay connected on YouTube. See you soon.